Hey, everybody. I'm Rebecca Giannini. I'm a parenting and relationship coach, and this is my group. If you have found your way here, it's because your relationships matter a lot to you and you want to work on shifting into healthier dynamics so that your relationships can improve. So if that's the case, congratulations. I'm so glad that you're here. I do take topic requests and I do respond to comments. So if you have a question or a comment, please put that in the chat. For those of you who are with me on Zoom, you can just put it in the chat. For those of you watching on Facebook, you can put it in the comments, but sometimes there's a lag between when I can see the comments, when you comment and when I can see them. So if I don't get to it during the live, just put it in the comments and I'll get to it later. So tonight's topic is a sad one. I usually plan my topics a couple weeks in advance, but I don't usually know what I'm talking about till that night or that day. And so today I went in and checked what the topic was for today. And I was like, okay, cool, because this one, has been hitting home for me recently. And so sometimes the universe is wonderful that way, and it will be really timely. And when I need to be talking about something, it will be totally in line with what's happening in my life. And I have to be practicing the exact same lessons that I teach to you. And believe me when I say every single thing that I'm teaching to you, I am in one of the stages of those same skills that I'm teaching you. I'm practicing myself. And just in case you haven't been here long enough and you don't know what the stages of a skill are, I'll start with that. There are 4 stages of every skill. The first stage is unaware and unskilled, which means you aren't aware of the skill you need and you have no proficiency in it. You don't have any ability or capacity to navigate that skill that you need. The second stage, which is the most painful, is aware and unskilled, which means you are aware of the problem and you might even be aware of why it keeps happening, but you have no ability to do anything different. You keep making the same mistakes over and over and over, even though you want to be doing something different. There's usually a lot of shame within stage 2 and a lot of sadness, a lot of regret. Stage 3 is aware and skilled, which means you are starting to navigate that skill. You're still making a lot of mistakes, but you are working on it actively. You're taking steps forward, you're taking steps back, but you're aware of the issue, you're aware of why it happens, and you are aware of what you need to be doing to get out of the problematic behavior and into the behavior that's going to help you. And you're actively taking steps toward that. Step 4 is unaware and skilled. So that's proficiency, which means you don't have to think about it too much. You're just proficient and you don't really have to think about it. So the reason this question came up for me this week, or recently, not necessarily this week, but the question that I want to talk about tonight is, am I too broken for this to work for me? And it's a deeply painful question. Am I too broken to change this habit? Am I too broken? Am I too far gone to work on this? And this is something that I hear from people who want to work with me, people who are interested in my program, and I hear it, and it comes from a deeply, deeply sad place. This question, am I too broken for this to work for me? I think I might not have finished. I think I might not have finished a sentence just now. I've had a full day of client sessions, so please be gentle with me as I am talking through this live tonight. So anyway, this is a painful question, and I hear it from clients, and I hear it from, and I can deeply relate to this question. And this question comes from a sad place of feeling like you're stuck and feeling like you keep on making the same mistakes over and over, and no matter how hard you try, you keep doing that. And And usually that means that you've had a lot of difficult experiences that have confirmed this belief that you have about yourself. And that belief is usually a painful one, like I'm not good enough for this, or I'm bad at such and such, or I'm not the kind of person who could ever, or I'm the kind of person who will always fill in the blank. And we all have these beliefs about ourselves. That's the internal framework. And the internal framework is the basis for this painful question. The internal framework is basically who we believe ourselves to be and what we believe ourselves to be capable of. And so what happens is that we have all of these life experiences, and our brain is trying to make sense of those painful experiences and help us avoid that pain in the future. And so it attaches meaning to the different experiences that we have, and the meaning that it attaches to those experiences can often be flawed. And so if we have a flawed belief about what an experience means, then we will continuously be seeking out confirmation for that belief. And let me give you an example so that this is a little bit easier. So let's say, for example, every time you're walking to school as a child, you walk past this house and there's this dog that charges the fence and is super scary, and you get startled every time. Your brain is trying to keep you safe. So when you walk to school the next morning, you might go on the other side of the street. Now, you also might attach meaning to that experience that dogs are scary. And even if you meet a really friendly dog, you might have that same experience where you are ready to get out of there, because that experience was so intense with this other dog that you are ready for that with this with any dog. And so basically what our brain is trying to do is to keep us safe from situations that cause us pain or cause us to be afraid, and it's helping us to know what to expect in a similar situation going forward. So in relationships, what this looks like is, hey, it's not safe to share my feelings, or every time I share my feelings, I get shut down, or I have a lot of protective anger, and I use that against my loved ones, or I struggle with boundaries, and when somebody offers a boundary to me, I can't honor the boundary. I need to do such and such. And everybody has these different things that they struggle with, but the meaning that we attach to those might be, I'm bad with boundaries, or I'm a yeller, or I'm selfish, or I am mean, or I'm lazy, or whatever it is. Your brain is having these repeated experiences and is experiencing pain in those experiences, and then attaches meaning in order to help us avoid a situation like that in the future. So when you've gathered up enough of these experiences, and let's say you have a pattern of harming people, you might have this belief that am I too broken for this to help? And if that is a question that you're struggling with right now, I just want you to know that the answer for sure is no. You are not too broken, and you are not too far gone for this to help. All of our coping mechanisms, all of the things that we do to keep ourselves safe, are just learned patterns. And when we keep making the same mistakes over and over and over again, it just means that we're stuck in stage 2. It means we are aware of the problem, but we don't know how to get out of it. And if you have been in this group for a while and you're wondering, am I too messed up for this to work? Are my relationships too far gone for this to work? The answer is definitely not. I know this from myself, and I know this from my clients. The internal framework is the most profound and the most healing work that I've ever done and that I've ever taught. Their reflective listening is incredible. I love it. Ask for those resources. We'll make sure that you get them. There's so many different tools that we teach in this group and in the online curriculum and in the group coaching program, the private coaching program, and the hybrid coaching program. There's so many skills that we teach, and all of them are life-changing. But the internal framework is by far the most profound thing that you could work on, because all of our behaviors come out of those beliefs. And so if we have these beliefs that we are inherently bad or we are inherently something negative, then whether or not we want to, we are going to be living out those beliefs and what our brain believes to be truths. We are going to be living out those truths, and then we will see lots of evidence of those truths in our experience, and it will confirm what we already believe, and we will just keep heading farther and farther down that painful spiral that that causes us so much distress. So if you have ever wondered if this will work for you, know that it is possible. It is possible to change your patterns, even if you've had them for a really, really long time, even if you have even if you've been stuck for a really, really long time. And I can tell you that some of my greatest joy comes from being able to watch somebody shift their internal framework and be able to do things that they never thought possible. And for myself, when I have grappled with that question, am I too broken for this? Am I too broken for this next piece of my journey? Is that available to me? Am I too broken for this? Luckily, I know that the answer is no to that, but it can still feel true. It can still feel like the only answer that is true is yes. But we are not. None of us are too broken. None of us are too broken, and none of us are too far gone. This work is incredible. And if you want to change your life, and if you want to change your relationships, and you want to live out your full potential and have the life of your dreams, what you need to do is work on your internal framework. There's no way around it. That's what it is you need to work on your internal framework. And until then, I can be the one believing for you and knowing that when you work on your internal framework, you will be able to achieve such incredible things in such a quick amount of time. And, there are things that take a long time to work on. I was live in my clients only group this morning, and there are some things that feel like we grow in what somebody called like a glacial pace. And there are things that we move towards slowly and can only work towards slowly, and that's true. But there are other things when you really start to dive in to the internal framework and you learn to identify what are the beliefs that I have that are holding me back, and where did the experiences, what were those experiences that held up that belief, and what else is true about those experiences, and what do I need to shift? What skills do I need to work on to get out of this behavior? It's incredible. When you learn how to separate your behavior from who you are, even just that, it's so incredibly freeing and empowering, because you can start to recognize that your behaviors are just behaviors. They're not who you are. They're just learned patterns that that have served you in some way. And we can shift those behaviors into better skills that get our needs met in a more meaningful way. And when we do that, life gets brighter. Life is more beautiful. Life is happier and more full of joy and more full of love. And so if you can relate to any of this, please let me know, and put, if you want to get started working on the internal framework, just put internal framework, or you can put IF in the comments, and I will have somebody reach out to you and get you the resources that we have, the getting started resources, so that you can start working on that. Some of you might be interested in private coaching or the hybrid coaching program or the group coaching program. Hybrid is a combination of group and private. So some of you are ready to take that next step. Some of you are done with the patterns that have kept you stuck, and you're ready to get to a place where life looks more beautiful, that your relationships look more beautiful. And if that is you, let me know, put that in the comments, and or send me a private message, and I will reach out to you shortly and see if you're a good fit for one of our programs. I can tell you it will change your life. And if you have any questions about how life-changing it is, you're welcome to take a look at my website and look at all of my video testimonials, people who have worked with me. It's thepresentparents.com. And I have a whole tab of people who have just talked about how quickly their life and relationships have changed in such a short period of time. So if you're interested in hearing from other people who have gone through the programs, please do that. And I will see you soon. All right, take care. Bye-bye.